So, after a good night's sleep, I woke up early and, well, as it stands, I haven't even bothered getting dressed yet, but woke up early and started working on this thing. I have attached and wired everything I need to wire. Lots of excess wire. Next step is going to be a little bit of plastic work here to make sure that everything can mount in place. All the switches and everything, all of it works. Everything is nice and clean and pretty. I'm going to have to wrap all of this wire up. Well, I'm going to have to, unfortunately, swap the red brake for the black brake because this one has all the necessary parts. That one's missing a bolt, so I got to use this one. Not going to be as shiny, but it works. So the next step, once I get dressed, is to take these wraps and cover all the wiring. Start reassembling the back end of the bike. Once that's done, work on all that plastic and reassemble the front end of the bike. And then take it for a test drive. So, I'll pick you up again when I start putting the wires together. Let's see if we can find a spot to put this camera where you can see what I'm doing. Let's stack some shit up. Yeah, that'll do it. Hey, you can sort of see in there. Kind of wobbly. But it's the best it's going to get. So, let's hope it don't fall down. A touch better. Okay, let's hope that don't fall. And we'll get this all wrapped up. Oh boy. Stuck, yeah. Well, that's not good. Let's go through here. I'm gonna have to start this here. First magical tool. Tape. I could do this with tape, or I could do it with zip ties. Tape's already here in my hand. Well, it was out on my desk, but the tape's here. I don't have to find it as I would with the zip ties. As much as this looks like an absolute shit show, a mess at the moment, it is going to start making more sense very shortly. there. I think I'm going to have to get a new roll of this at some point, rather soon. First port out of it. That one. It's for the charger port. So I haven't charged this thing since I started rebuilding it this time around. I'm going to have to charge this up before I take it out for a ride. I'm having second thoughts about that ride right now, considering the weather. Everything's raining crazy. Yeah, extra wires down there. So we'll wrap this up anyway. Go about 6 or 8 inches at a time. Put a ring of tape on it. In this instance, a wiring harness is very, very simple. Some are a lot more complicated than this. But this one, nah. Can't really show you what I'm doing here, but there's tons and tons of excess wire all the way through this thing. I made sure there was. This makes it easier to do this shit. To do it. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Had a wire cut loose on me. Well, I gotta redo that. No problem. That'll happen later. Tell you what. We got this far. I'll bring it back after I put that back together. And get this all cleaned up. There, we can see how nice and orderly and clean all the wiring is in there. It goes down a single point down to here. On the bottom, got that one nice packed up cable, the wiring harness, the one brake cable, and this, which is the connector for the charging port. Okay, Next step will be that brake. I will bring it back when it's done. Well, a number of times you guys have seen me put this together and take it apart. Shouldn't matter, but I have to wait for a brake cable. It seems I do not have one of a sufficient length to do this job of hooking up this back brake. So, as a consequence, I have to wait until I can get a ride to Chinese Tire and spend more money, which always seems to be the solution to problems here. Spend more money. Not a happy solution, but it is what occurs. Till that point, I'm going to reassemble the back end, reassemble the head. At least you get to watch that for a few minutes. Maybe it'll be slightly entertaining. Maybe I should have thought to empty out this helmet box before I decided it was time to pick it up and attach it. A little heavy. No, just a thought. Those things like ideas. It's a headache with pictures. But we can once again see what it's going to look like finished. Better find, I believe it was a 13 or a 15 possibly socket. Not that one. Might even have been a 12. 13 it is. It's 14, what's the 13? I got one. $13. That should about do it. So we once again have a semblance of what it's going to look like finished, at least on this end. In all honesty, get back a bit, see the whole thing. Not too bad. Now, I'll leave that panel open there until I get that brake cable replaced, just to be able to string it through. I leave the front open for not only, and the head for not only the brake cable, but also mounting all of those switches. Now, if I mount all those switches up, which I'm thinking of doing next, that'll greatly lower the amount of things I need to do. Okay, I'll bring it back when I got that partly completed. Well, with minus that brake cable, which I need to go buy, it's only going to cost about $12, so that's fine. But need a new brake cable, but 10 foot long. Well, 9 foot, but who's counting? Right now, it's charging. All the switches, the keyed gearing, the ignition, the reverse switch are all in place, all wired in nice and clean and neat. Bottom deck is all just about empty in there. Pulled out some garbage when I was in there too. It's bits and pieces of stuff. It's all clean up here, nice and neat and organized, ready to be put back together. As soon as you get this right here cable replaced. It's run where it's supposed to be, but as you can see from there, down, straight back, straight across, it's supposed to loop this way through that hole and into that bolt. It is not quite long enough to assemble. Need a couple inches more cable. So I gotta buy a 9 foot or a 10 foot or whatever that happens to be. That's the last piece. Then it's done. Get that done, get it all put back together and up and running. Take it out for test drive in the horrible rain today. Let's see what was in here that was making it so heavy when I was trying to attach everything up before. Oh. Yeah, that'd add some weight to it, wouldn't it? All my paperwork for BC and the job search things. Oh well. It being a mobility scooter, not a motorcycle or bicycle anymore, there's the advent that I don't have to wear a helmet no more. I might still, depending on what the gearing adds up to for the speed. That weren't too nice, but depending on what the gearing adds up to for the speed on this thing. Oh, I have to pick up a couple of washers and tighten this up a little. She kind of sits funny. That won't work fine. This one kind of fucking sits funny. I got to put a washer or something underneath there to keep it from, a couple of washers underneath there to keep it from wobbling too much once I get it set up. Charger's working good. Everything's running, everything's clean, everything's clear. Let's hope I get it finished today so I can be out on it first thing tomorrow morning. Go pick up groceries. Okay, see if I finish it later. Alright, after a disappointing parts run to Canadian Tire and Walmart to find out that the only available brake cables are 1.75 meter as opposed to the 2.5 meter that I need. See, I need a 7 foot and all they got is 5 foot, basically. So after a disappointment of that, I had an epiphany, cleaned up after myself, and then clipped the shield of the cable back, just the absolute bare minimum to be able to get that to fit through there and still be able to bolt up. Just barely. There is no extra, there is no room for error, and it works. So the brakes work. I can spin, and I can stop. That means I can put the rest of this thing back together. And wish I had been some warning about when monsoon season was going to get here. We've had high winds and rain on and off for, well, most of the afternoon. But I'll bring it back after it's all in one piece. Well, let's get a nice comfy seat here. Mirrors are all mounted up nice and solid, lined up to the back. Throttle's brand new. New grip on the other side too. Speed control lock. Got 3 different gears on that one. New ignition. Reverse switch. It works. Don't need that dash at all, so it's just going to be blank black. Don't need headlights. Not riding in the night anyway. It's a mobility scooter. It's not a bike anymore. Nice and pretty. So I can still use to do that welding instead of bolts on the back end there underneath the connecting those two pieces of swing arm. But everything operates properly as much as necessary to be a mobility scooter. Yeah, I can do 20, 30 kilometers an hour maybe with that motor and the gearing I've got. The brakes are hooked up and work. The wheels are hooked up and work. Everything is hooked up and everything works. Last touch. So I'll be able to ride it out in the morning. There. I'm actually thinking I'm going to lower the bracket hanger on that king by a couple of inches just to keep it up above the level of the tire here. Keep it up there because it's sitting there right now, which is kind of close. Move it up to about there. Nice and safe. See? So yeah, move those 2 screws. Drop that down another couple of inches and it'll be done and ready to go for morning. All right, no more need for bus fare. So hopefully it lasts more than a couple of hours this time now that everything's been done properly. Talk to you later.